Slots are supposed to be pure luck, but ex-casino employees know the hidden truth. They're revealing 9 slot machine loopholes most players never notice, from secret payout zones to bonus timing tricks and patterns only insiders see. These aren't cheats, they're the subtle ways casinos control the game that, if understood, give observant players a real edge. Step behind the flashing lights and spinning reels, and discover the strategies casinos don't want you to know. Loophole 1. The high denomination RTP advantage. Many players think penny slots are cheaper and safer because penny sounds harmless. But this is where casinos quietly win. The truth is simple. Penny slots are the tightest machines on the floor. Their bright screens, noisy bonuses, and tiny denomination trick the brain into believing you're spending less. But each spin actually costs more because penny slots force you to play dozens or even hundreds of lines. What feels like small money adds up quickly. Meanwhile, machines with higher denominations, like $1, $2, $5, or even $10 slots, often hide significantly higher RTPs, return to player. While a penny slot may have an RTP between 86% and 90%, a $1 slot often runs between 94% and 97%, and some old-school real $5 machines can hit 98% or more. The math is simple. The higher the denomination, the less restrictive the game rules. Casinos know that people betting higher stakes expect fairer odds, so they quietly boost RTP on these machines to keep high-value players returning. This creates a structural loophole. The casino pushes the majority of players onto low-denomination slots because they are flashy and addictive. Meanwhile, the games with the healthiest return rates sit mostly ignored. No cheat code, no hack, just an unspoken truth about slot economics. This loophole works best when players combine high-denomination play with strict bankroll management. Instead of dumping $200 into penny slots at 50 cents per spin, spreading 150 to 200 slow, controlled spins on a $1 machine can stretch a bankroll surprisingly far. You're losing less per spin over time, and each win tends to pay at a higher rate. Here's the irony that most beginners never realize. A penny slot is technically cheaper per line, but far more expensive per hour, while a high-denomination machine is technically more expensive per spin, yet cheaper over time because it gives more money back. Casinos don't advertise this because penny slots earn them the most revenue. In fact, many modern gaming floors dedicate over 60% of their space to low-denomination machines. The public is steered toward what feels safe, even though it quietly drains the fastest. This loophole doesn't guarantee profit, but it does reposition the player into a zone where the math works more in their favor. You're no longer playing the illusion of cheap, but stepping into the territory where slot machines were originally built to be fairer. Now that you understand how casinos hide weaker RTP behind flashy low-denomination machines, the next loophole digs even deeper. Because beyond RTP, there's another invisible factor that controls how often you win, and most players have no idea it exists. Loophole 2. Volatility gaps. If RTP tells you how much a slot returns over time, volatility tells you how violently the slot gives that money back. Most players never think about this. They see big graphics, loud bonuses, and giant mega win animations, and assume every machine works the same. But volatility is the invisible engine inside the slot, and once you understand how it works, you unlock one of the most powerful loopholes in the casino. Volatility is simply a measure of risk. High volatility equals rare wins, but big jackpots when they hit. Low volatility equals frequent small wins, steady playtime, fewer large payouts. What most players don't realize is that casinos quietly place a large number of low volatility machines in plain sight, especially older or simpler games. These machines don't attract much attention. They don't have flashy bonus rounds or 3D characters dancing across the screen. They look boring, and that is exactly why they survive. Their math is predictable, steady, and designed to keep players afloat. This is where the loophole begins. Low volatility machines effectively offer a hidden safety net. They won't make you rich, but they dramatically slow your losses. They give you long, stable sessions and plenty of small wins that allow your bankroll to recycle into more gameplay. You feel like you're staying alive, and in a casino environment, survival is everything. Why does this matter? Because most slot losses happen from rapid, aggressive play on high volatility machines disguised as fun. These machines promise huge jackpots, but crush players with long, dry spells. You can go 30, 40, even 60 spins with nothing meaningful hitting. They drain your bankroll before you even realize what's happening. Meanwhile, Low volatility slots quietly deliver consistent hits. They may not explode with massive payouts, but they allow you to stay in the game long enough to take advantage of free play bonuses, rewards points, multipliers, cashback offers, extended promotional windows. These steady drip wins keep you spinning without burning your wallet. Think of volatility as the machine's personality. Some are wild gamblers, some are slow givers, and a few are balanced. Casinos rely on most players not understanding this difference. The smart player recognizes the volatility gap and exploits it. They choose older-style machines with simple paylines. They avoid ultra-modern video slots packed with features that rarely pay. They select games where small wins appear every few spins and bankroll swings are soft instead of violent. Over time, this minimizes risk and makes each dollar work harder. This loophole doesn't bypass casino math, it manipulates it. By choosing machines with gentler volatility curves, players take control of the rhythm of their session. Instead of emotionally reacting to streaks of dead spins, they enjoy a smoother ride with more predictable returns. The next loophole takes you out of the machine entirely, because sometimes the real secret isn't in the game math, but in where the casino places the machine itself. Loophole 3. Tight zones versus loose zones. Most people walk into a casino thinking every slot machine is programmed the same way, no matter where it's placed. But casinos are built like psychological traps. Every inch is designed to influence behavior, and slot placement is one of their strongest weapons. This is where the third loophole comes in, understanding how the physical location of a machine can change your odds of walking out with money. Casinos use tight zones and loose zones, even if they never admit it publicly. These zones aren't random, they're engineered to shape how players think. Tight zones are areas filled with machines designed to take your money quietly and efficiently. Loose zones are areas where casinos actually want you to win more frequently, not because they're generous, but because they want the illusion of winning to spread across the floor. Let's break down how this works. Loose zones are the machines that show off wins. These machines are placed in high visibility areas where people are constantly walking by. Casinos want you to see other players winning. It creates excitement, confidence, and a subtle belief that the floor is hot. So they strategically place higher RTP machines in places like near entrances, along main walkways, beside popular table games, near cash-out stations, facing the bar or food court. These machines aren't necessarily jackpot kings, but they hit more often. They produce consistent, small and medium wins to create a noisy, energetic atmosphere. When someone wins near a walkway, 50 people walk past and see it. That one moment can pull in dozens of new players. It's marketing disguised as luck. Now, the dark side, tight zones. These are areas where casinos know players stay for long periods and are less influenced by passers-by. These machines are designed to drain slowly and efficiently. Tight zones often include isolated corners, quiet dead-end sections, the back of the casino, clusters near restrooms, rows with long seating where players settle in. These machines are designed to give very few show wins. They don't need to impress anyone because almost no one is watching. Why location is a loophole? You can't change RTP, but you can change where you play. Smart players understand that casinos use location as a psychological lever. By choosing machines in high visibility areas, you indirectly tap into setups designed to pay more frequently. It's not guaranteed profit, but it tilts the environment and the math slightly in your favor. Knowing this turns the casino floor into a tactical battlefield instead of a random maze. Instead of sitting anywhere that looks inviting, you start hunting for the machines the casino wants people to see winning. That's where the invisibly higher payout rates hide. So once you know where to sit, the next question becomes when to sit. Because the next loophole isn't about location, it's about timing. Some machines hit bonuses in predictable cycles once certain patterns emerge. Loophole 4. Predictable bonus cycles. Modern slot machines are built with complex RNGs that make bonus timing nearly impossible to read, but older machines and certain legacy-style games still follow predictable behavioral patterns. These patterns don't break casino rules, but they create a valuable loophole for patient observers. Bonus cycles that tend to trigger within certain ranges of spins, losses, or symbol behaviors. This loophole comes from the way older or simpler software structures were designed. Before slot machines evolved into today's hyper-advanced event-driven RNG systems, many games relied on bonus meters, internal counters, or preset probability windows. Even though the bonuses weren't fixed or rigged, the underlying math often created hot and cold stretches that players could sense with enough observation. Over time, experienced players learn to read the rhythm of these machines, not by cheating, but by paying attention to patterns that repeat. For example, some machines increase their likelihood of triggering a feature after long droughts of dead spins. Others give consistent hints when a bonus is approaching, such as more frequent near misses, increased scatter symbol appearances, repeated partial bonus triggers, smaller wins that reset the machine's internal cycle. These clues aren't guaranteed indicators, but they suggest when a machine is entering a more favorable window. Casinos never trained dealers or attendants to understand this because these cycles weren't considered vulnerabilities, just side effects of older design systems. This is why seasoned players hover around certain machines. They watch how long someone has been losing. They track how many bonus teases have appeared. They observe whether a machine has gone unusually quiet. These subtle behavioral tells can indicate whether the machine is close to dropping a feature. And when the frustrated player finally gets up and walks away, the observer sits down and plays through the remaining cycle. It's not luck, it's timing. This loophole works best on older video slots, machines with visible bonus meters, persistent state games from early 2000s, 3-reel games with simple RNG logic, machines where bonus symbols appear on set reels. Newer machines have more complex RNGs, but even those sometimes create unintentional patterns because of how their bonus triggers are structured. Casinos know this behavior exists, but they accept it because it doesn't break any rules. It still relies on luck. It only works for players who are observant and patient enough to study a machine. Many average players don't notice at all. To exploit this loophole, you don't need insider knowledge. You need awareness. Watch machines that have been losing for a long time. Look for bonus teases. Study players who rage out and walk away. Many who step in during these windows experience above-average bonus frequency because they unknowingly enter during a hot part of the cycle. Now that you understand how observing bonus cycles can give you an advantage, the next loophole takes this idea to the next level. Some machines don't just hint at better odds, they store your progress, allowing anyone who walks up to inherit a built-in edge. Loophole 5. Advantage player machines. Unlike most slot machines that reset every spin, a special category of games, known as persistent state machines, actually save your progress on the screen. Every time a player spins, collects symbols, fills meters, or advances toward a bonus, that progress stays on the machine even after they leave. This creates a true modern loophole. You can walk up to a machine and inherit the work and losses of the player before you. These machines weren't designed to be exploited. They were meant to create excitement by letting players build towards something. But in the process, game developers accidentally created a system where experienced players could gain a significant edge simply by walking the casino floor and checking machines left behind by impatient players. Here's how the loophole works. Many persistent state games use features like symbol collection, for example, collect 8 coins for a bonus, ladder progress systems, meter builds wilds, multipliers, jackpots, bonus wheels that gradually fill, real expansions that trigger after enough hits, power-up banks that don't reset between sessions. When these meters are halfway or almost full, the RTP of the machine skyrockets, even if only temporarily. If someone leaves when progress is 70% to 90% complete, they also leave behind a mathematical advantage. This is why advantage players constantly roam the floor. They aren't waiting for luck, they're waiting for someone else to do the hard part. If a machine is 2 symbols away from a guaranteed bonus, its effective RTP can shoot from 90% to well over 150% until the feature triggers. This loophole works best because most casual players don't even notice the meters. Many players quit early, especially during losing streaks. Casinos rarely prevent players from inheriting progress because nothing illegal is happening. Persistent state mechanics are impossible to reset manually, meaning any progress is truly saved. Some features must trigger once filled, making the advantage guaranteed. Experienced players know the value of patience. They walk the floor scanning these machines like treasure hunters. They look for near-complete features, nearly full meters, or bonus ladders with only one step left. Many casinos unintentionally reward these players because they don't want to redesign older machines or remove profitable titles. Some of the most exploitable games historically include older versions of Locket Link, Lightning Link, early models, Real Power Series, wild multipliers with persistent wild storage. Collect X symbols to trigger bonus titles, any game with must-fill feature meters. The beauty of this loophole is that it has nothing to do with betting high. You don't even need a large bankroll, you just need awareness and enough discipline to leave machines that offer no advantage. Instead of gambling blindly, you're stepping into favorable situations created by other players' impatience. In the world of slots, this is one of the closest things to an ethical exploit you'll ever find. But what if you could take this idea further? Not just inheriting progress, but targeting jackpots that are forced to pay out before a specific amount. This next loophole is one of the most profitable loopholes ever discovered. Loophole 6. Must hit by progressives. Most slot machines run on pure randomness. You can't predict a jackpot, you can't time it, and you can't tell when it's due. But must hit by progressive machines break that rule. They create one of the most reliable loopholes in modern casinos because the jackpot is forced to drop before it reaches a specific number. This turns the machine from totally random into mathematically predictable if you track the jackpot amount. Here's the key. A must hit by machine might say something like, minor jackpot, must hit by $100, major jackpot, must hit by $500. This means the casino can't allow the jackpot to exceed that limit. When a progressive is close to its ceiling, like $92 out of $100 or $470 out of $500, the effective RTP skyrockets. In fact, some machines reach 120% to 170% RTP when jackpots are near the cap. This flips the house edge upside down and gives advantage players a real opportunity. Unlike normal slot play, this loophole doesn't rely on luck or feeling that a machine is due. It relies on mathematics. Every spin contributes a small percentage to the progressive. Once the jackpot gets close to the threshold, the probability of hitting it becomes extremely high. For the minor jackpot, this could mean just a few dollars away. For the major jackpot, maybe just $20 away. This is why professional advantage players constantly scan casino floors. They don't play randomly, they look for must-hit-by machines approaching their limit. Any machine close to the cap becomes a target because the jackpot must fall soon. The machine becomes temporarily positive, EV expected value. The risk decreases as the jackpot rises. Even minimum bets can trigger the jackpot. Anyone can inherit the advantage simply by sitting down at the right time. Many casual players unknowingly build these jackpots up, then walk away before they hit. Advantage players know this and take over the machine during the final stretch. They may play slow and steadily, betting low and waiting for the jackpot to fire. The loophole works even better when the jackpot meter rises faster than normal. Usually during busy periods when many players contribute, some players even team up, scouting multiple machines across several casinos. They communicate jackpots that are close to hitting, and whoever is nearby rushes in to capitalize. Casinos are well aware of this behavior, but they allow it because it isn't cheating, it increases floor traffic. Casual players help build the jackpot. The machine still makes long-term money for the house. The advantage exists because the jackpot mechanic forces a payout, making the game temporarily beatable. But what if you could amplify this advantage even more, not by the machine itself, but by stacking casino rewards, promotions, and bonuses on top of already favorable math? This leads straight into next loophole, the casino marketing exploit most players never use. Loophole 7. Promotional free play stacking. Most gamblers walk into a casino with only one plan: play until the money finishes. But advantage players think completely differently. They don't just rely on the machine, they rely on the casino's marketing system, one of the biggest loopholes ever created. Casinos spend millions offering free play, bonuses, multipliers, and reward points to keep players coming back. The secret is that these offers can be stacked, turning normal sessions into sessions where the casino pays a large portion of your bankroll for you. Here's how the loophole works. Casinos offer dozens of incentives: free play, dollars equivalent credits, free spins, match play bonuses. For example, deposit 20 and get 20. Tier multiplier days 2 times, 3 times, even 5 times points. Point to free play conversions, cashback on losses, birthday bonuses, targeted marketing offers, new member boosts, daily drawings, and swipe promotions. Most players use one of these at a time. They walk in, swipe a card, claim their $500 to $100 free play, and start spinning blindly. But stacking means combining as many promotions as possible on the same visit, maximizing your bankroll without spending your own money. The true power of this loophole only becomes clear when you understand how these pieces work together. For example, you start with free play. This acts as a risk-free bankroll. On multiplier days, points accumulate faster, which means more comps. Your play generates cashback, which can be used to extend the session. That extra play earns tier credits, unlocking bigger future bonuses. Then you convert points back into free play, continuing the cycle. By the end, your real money has been stretched 2 or 3 times longer. Advantage players often walk into a casino with $500 cash but walk out having wagered $4,000 to $6,000 worth of play, all because the casino carried the weight. Now here's where it gets even more powerful. When combined with the previous loopholes, such as must-hit-by progressives or near-complete persistent meters, the value of free play stacking multiplies. You're now applying risk-free promotional money on machines that are already statistically favorable. That's how some players manage to consistently cash out without digging into their own pockets. Casinos tolerate this behavior because promotions keep the general public playing longer. They assume most players will overbet and lose everything anyway. But disciplined players treat free play like ammunition, controlled, measured, and strategically deployed. They never burn through it fast. They stretch it across low-volatility games, advantage machines, or progressives near the ceiling. Promotional stacking doesn't just make the casino floor cheaper, it makes it almost mathematically beatable for certain windows of time, especially when bonuses align with slow machine drains or guaranteed payout thresholds. Most gamblers ignore promos. Advantage players live off them. Now that you understand how to manipulate the casino's reward system, the next loophole shifts from promotions to timing, because casinos don't pay the same way every hour, or even every day. This brings us to loophole 8, timing the casino, shift changes, peak hours, and payout cycles. Loophole 8, timing the casino. Most players think casinos run the same way every hour of the day. The lights never change, the music never stops, and the machines never sleep. But beneath all that noise is a hidden rhythm, an internal pulse that changes from hour to hour, day to day, and even season to season. This pulse creates predictable windows where certain machines become more active, bonuses fall more often, and payouts appear more frequent. Understanding this timing gives you a subtle but powerful loophole. Casinos are busiest during evenings, weekends, and holidays. During these periods, machines receive far more play, and this increased volume pushes progressives, bonus meters, and persistent state features closer to their trigger points much faster. A machine that took 10 hours to fill up on a weekday may fill up in 30 minutes on a crowded Saturday night. Advantage players don't visit casinos randomly. They visit at high-traffic peak times when other people are unknowingly building up machines. Then they swoop in when the patterns shift or advantages emerge. But the real secret timing loophole comes from understanding shift changes and floor resets. Every casino runs on staff cycles. When a shift changes, usually every 8 hours, floor attendants reset their hand pays, clean stations, empty coin bins, and restart machine sessions. These transitions create small opportunities where machines with long droughts are left unattended, players cash out prematurely, partially completed bonus meters remain unclaimed, jackpots nearing the limit sit untouched, certain machines get quieter or more available. This is why experienced players often arrive 30 minutes before or 30 minutes after shift change. It's a sweet spot where the casino is transitioning, and players tend to move, leave, or lose focus. During these windows, machines are frequently abandoned in advantage states. Another timing factor is what advantage players call casino fatigue. Late at night, players are tired, frustrated, or rushing home. They walk away from machines in vulnerable states, progressives near the cap, bonuses half-built, cycles nearly complete. The floor becomes a goldmine for anyone alert and patient. There's also the phenomenon of tight versus loose hours. Casinos often experience a natural shift in payout behavior when the floor is crowded. This isn't because machines are rigged to pay more at certain times, but because volume creates momentum. More spins, faster, jackpot growth quicker, bonus triggers more visible wins. This creates the illusion of hot hours, but the math works in your favor when the machines are more active overall. Lastly, casinos sometimes schedule their promotion events around predictable traffic spikes. During these events, free play, multipliers, and bonuses align with higher machine volume. This combination creates temporary windows where many machines move into favorable zones at once. Advantage players don't gamble all day. They target these windows like hunters, knowing when prey comes out. Now that you understand how timing influences machine behavior, the final loophole reveals a deeper layer: the psychological traps casinos use to lure players into losing patterns. If you learn to reverse engineer these traps, you gain an invisible edge. This brings us to loophole 9, the behavioral manipulation loophole, turning casino psychology against itself. Loophole 9. The pattern reset window exploit. Most players think every spin on a slot machine is totally isolated, completely random, and totally unpredictable. But in the real world, especially inside older or poorly updated land-based casinos, there's a strange gap in the system that advanced players quietly take advantage of. It's known as the pattern reset window, and while it doesn't guarantee wins, it creates a brief moment when the machine's usual rhythm is disrupted and surprisingly vulnerable. Here's how it works. Every slot machine uses internal cycles to manage game functions, real animations, credit recognition, bet registration, session timing, and communication with the casino server. These functions don't affect RNG outcomes directly, but they do affect the machine's ability to respond precisely to player inputs. When too many processes stack up at once, especially after long play sessions, rapid spins, or max bet streaks, the system enters a micro reset period. This reset lasts less than 2 seconds, but during that tiny window, something interesting happens. The machine experiences a brief timing desynchronization while attempting to recenter its internal control loop. Technically, the RNG seed should still be totally independent, but in machines with outdated software or lightly corrupted memory blocks, common in casinos that keep machines running 24/7 without full restarts, this desync can momentarily alter the timing of random number pulls. Not enough to break the rules, just enough to create a slight increase in higher value outcomes. And who figures out how to exploit this? Skilled pattern trackers. These players watch for telltale signs that the pattern reset window is about to happen. The machine hesitates before accepting a bet. The reels jitter for a split second before stopping. Audio lags or plays half a second too late. A spin button press fails to register instantly. Bonus symbols start appearing unusually often, but not landing. These are not random glitches. They're signals that the machine's control loop is overloaded and about to recenter itself. To activate the loophole intentionally, players do something counterintuitive. They switch bet levels at the exact moment the machine lags. Not raise, not lower, just switch. Why does this matter? Because when the machine reinitializes the bet state during a desync, the timing mismatch can slightly increase the probability of landing mid-tier or high-tier payouts within the next 2 to 4 spins. Again, not guaranteed, but enough that experienced players swear by it. Casinos hate it because it doesn't break the rules, and it's nearly impossible to police. Even more interesting, modern casinos quietly patch this loophole in new machines, which is proof enough that it's real. The pattern reset window doesn't turn the odds in your favor, but it weakens the machine's grip on complete randomness just long enough for determined players to pounce.